Let me share something that I believe to be true, and maybe you can reflect on it. You don't necessarily have to answer, but reflect on it. I suspect that nobody finds this work because everything's going great. Mm. Generally speaking, a person stumbles across a work such as this because something in their life is collapsed or collapsing. Yeah, whether it be their faith in their how they were raised, their basic beliefs, um, any something begins to collapse, and it causes them to begin to seek a way. Yeah. Now, like I said, you don't have to answer if that's true or not, but reflect on that because I think it might. I think you'll find that it's true for yourselves in a certain respect, and it's. I suppose it would be a great clue into what you're hoping to get from a work like this. Yeah, because you look at something and you go, ah, that's what was collapsing. That's what was, that I lost my faith in, or shook my foundations, and that's what sent me on this journey. I really don't think anybody ever stumbles across this work because everything is going fine, everything's going great. Yeah, because those are A influences, and A influences have a tendency to um, keep us asleep, kind of what they're designed to do. Hmm? You know the A, B, and C influences. Do you all have that reference? Is it solid in you? Yes or no? Do you have it? Do you know? Or do I need to talk about A, B, and C influences again? I've explained it like this in the past. This is the circle of your life. All right. And A influences are everything that is kind of cultural. Yeah. Kind of your job, right? Your education, your peers, your friends, your family, all of these sorts of things. Um, balancing your checkbook, those are all A influences. And the thing about A influences is that they're always counterbalanced. So if you have one, for example, going this direction, then somewhere else in your life, you're going to have one going, or even somewhere else in the culture, at times, you'll have one going the opposite direction. It doesn't necessarily have to be in your life, right? And so if you have one going this way, then somewhere else you'll have one going that way. Okay. And so on and so forth. And the world is filled with such things. Now, interestingly enough, if a person, let's take this as the culture, for example, let's say that a person lives primarily here, all right, and they find that because they are living here, because they're living in this small section of the culture, that they have certain A influences that are pointing all in the same direction, and it causes them to be very wealthy. Okay.
Mm.
Right? And they think, oh, I must be doing something right, right? I must be succeeding in life because I'm wealthy. But the point is that here, over here, there's someone who isn't, yeah, who is just as unwealthy as the wealthy person is wealthy. Make sense so far? And they might think, well, hell, I'm doing something really wrong. Yeah, but this isn't the way that it works. A influences are all accidental. It's like you accidentally end up in a scenario or a situation where things are going well for you or things are going poor for you, or uh, you might alternate from one to the other and not understand why, what happened. Those are A influences, and they're always counterbalanced. B influences are separate. They all point in one particular direction. Here, I'll make it going upward, okay? All B influences, like certain types of art, certain types of, uh, religious beliefs, or the core origins of religions, um, spiritual endeavors, meditations, music in some cases. Yeah. All of these things that don't necessarily add to the financial well being or the survivability well being of a person, but have something more at their core. Those are called B influences. They're not counterbalanced. Okay. They all point in one particular direction, which is towards Uh, well, I guess one way to say it would be towards reality, but you can say towards, something spiritual, something deeper than just the randomness of the chaos of the culture, you see. Okay. Those are B influences. Now, there is sometimes there will be an A influence going in the same direction as all the B influences, but it's really an A influence. What do you suppose something like that would be? It's something that parades as a spiritual journey, a spiritual path, or whatever, but it doesn't actually take you there. Yeah, doesn't take you there. It just appears to. It appears like it's going to go in that general direction. All right. So another thing to think about, and it's very important in your own life to be able to separate out those A and B influences. And part of the work that we do is we collect the B influences. All right. We're like bees, like the ones with wings. Yeah. This is honeybees. We go and we collect the fine essences of these B influences and we store them. Now, when I say B influences, I literally mean like A, B, C. When I say bees, we're like bees. I'm talking about the creature. All right, make sense? Ambiguity in words. A C influence is outside of life, but it's always sits with a person or a group of persons. All right, these would be your mentors, your teachers, those types of things. What identifies a C influence is that they are aligned in the same direction as the B influences, but they have a connection to D and E in what's called like the unbroken chain. There's an unbroken chain either in the origin or in the tradition or whatever the case might be. Okay. A, B, C, D, and E influences. D would be the really esoteric, yeah, and the E would be kind of the core of creation itself, what it's connected to in its essence.